if you were buying one gun, like if you were just to buy a 1911 and somebody presented all these options to you, which option is looking the neatest?
Probably the Kimber.
Okay.
And I don't like the Kimber the best. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Like I look at other guns and I think, oh, that is so nice, and clearly that's made better, and clearly I just shoot them better.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've shot them, I've shot a bunch of different 1911s side by side with other people, and I'm just drilling it on the Kimber, but other people are not, and they're drilling it on the Colt, or something. So it's just, I don't know what that is.
So it is the way your unique individual person is compatible with a unique individual serial number. You won't be compatible with every other human on the planet. You also will not be compatible with every serial number of gun on the planet. Same model, same manufacturer, different serial number. Yeah, maybe you'll get along great. Like if you were to try a different Colt model with a different serial number, or the same Colt model with a different serial number. But yeah, no, that is what I've seen when we worked at the range up at Blue Steel. It was pretty interesting because you'd hand one gun, one serial number to 10 different people, and one person would not miss that bullseye. And 2 of those people would not be able to hit the piece of paper at all. So it's a unique thing. And that's interesting that you say that you shoot the Kimbers better. That's cool.
Well, and even when I shot Kimbers, I always kind of, if I get a chance to shoot a Kimber for some reason, I shoot it well. But I'm glad you bring this up, because I think it's fascinating what you're saying here, because so many times, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, where you pick up a gun and you're like, you know what, I don't like that gun. So then you kind of categorize all of these guns I don't like. Whereas, and it could just be that individual serial number. Because as you were talking, I thought about I love a SIG 226, P226. But then I shot one and I did not like it at all. And so in my head, I'm kind of like, well, I just don't like 226s anymore. But that was like an older one from Germany. I think it was even 40 caliber, so I'm glad you say that, because we do. I think we all do subconsciously. Once we've done it once, we're like, I don't like that.
Yeah, nope, I'm not going to try it again. Look at how many people were told to eat something when they were a child, and now decades later, they're like, I still don't like it. I tried it once when I was 4 years old, and that was it. And here I am, half a century later, and I have never tried it since then. Well, you might like it now. Try it later. Try it a different way.
Because even if you let's say I shoot a 226, we'll just stay on that. Well, they've had so many different. They made them in Switzerland, then they made them in Germany, then they made them in North Carolina, or wherever they made them in the United States. So obviously, there's going to be huge variables. Each step along the way. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I remember one time when I was 4 and I ate a pizza that had mushrooms on it, and I threw up. It hit my gag reflex, and I said, no more mushrooms at all, period. That was it. I've actually broke up with a girl over mushrooms. I hate them so much. And it's a true story. Maybe another video. But then recently my brother made a veggie burger out of garden picked mushrooms, and what I had hit the gag reflexes on, so you talk a 1970s can of those slimy mushrooms, So in my head, they're all bad. But then recently I'm like, you know what? Maybe I've been thinking about this all the wrong way. So you're right. And guns are the exact same thing.
Or, if maybe I know someone who has a very deep appreciation for Kimber handguns, specifically their 1911 series, and he does own one of the smallest size 1911s in a 45 caliber. It's they call it the Ultra. Is their smallest size. Yeah.
Now, is it a micro 9? Is that what it is?
No, it's not.
So it's actually a proper 1911.
It's a proper 1911. It would just be what is considered the officer size.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's
so
okay.
So you're...
I know what you're talking about.
I tell people it's 1911 sizing and gun sizing is kind of like the way you go to different coffee places and order different sizes of coffee. It's still a small, a medium, or large.
Or extra large.
Some people call it different things. Oh, you want and then they call it by some other name, and you're like, yeah, I just wanted this.
I kind of
size.
refuse to do that. I want an extra large.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you call it, but it needs to be an extra large.
Yeah. Yeah. More coffee is always better. Or just the larger size format of guns. This gentleman has this amazing Kimber Ultra Carry. It is small. It's in a 45. It shoots flawlessly. And he gets a little flinchy on it. And I have proof because I've told him I've short loaded the magazines on that for him before when we go out. And he'll still just be off slightly. Just that particular size and caliber of 1911. If he goes up to the next size, the Commander, or goes up again another size to the full size, he's nuts on and can't miss. I mean, it's fantastic, but it's just that smaller size and that specific caliber and that specific brand that he's having some issues with, and it could just be even that specific serial number.
Interesting. Especially being a 1911 that this person you're talking about shooting 1911s, because I can relate to that as well. I definitely can relate to. There's certain guns that I do get nervous about shooting. I don't know why. Usually the heavier calibers, when I break out like a 44 Magnum or something, I'm a little, all right, here goes. But I've also, and I'll go back to the 226, same thing. Even now, like if I was to buy a 226, I wouldn't buy one from Germany, for example. But the next guy might say, but those are the best ones.
Yes.
The ones from Germany are the best ones. And then I just have to shoot one, to see.
Just try it out.
So I'm really glad you brought this up.
But here's the thing. It may be the best gun for that person. They're not wrong.
Right.
That is their best gun. And that's why the comments will light up when you do something that's like, oh, this one's the best, this one's the best. And everybody will say, oh, but you missed all of these. Or yes, I agree. Or no, I disagree. Because there's no one size all perfect fit for everybody. Right. It's just what fits you, what fits you, what fits me. That's all anybody cares about is your specific Cinderella fit.
Absolutely. And that's why there's such a wide variety of firearms too, because there's such a wide variety of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't discount your options before you've actually looked into everything. There's so much to look for. So yeah, I'm glad we had that talk about that and kind of.
Absolutely. And just to close out, because even like when I do gun reviews, sometimes if they're malfunctioning and stuff, that's a whole different story. But I'm going to reflect back on the time we had all those 1911s laid out. There was one guy, he kept making them jam. Like I'd shoot it, it didn't jam. Somebody else shoot it didn't jam. He'd shoot it
every
jam.
single time. Yeah.
And so it was really, and you see, and there had to be this conversation where you need to, push forward, pull back, hold tight. Then it didn't jam. So it really is, because if that guy was doing a gun review, he'd say, well, this gun is terrible. It jams.
Exactly. And so some of it can be fixed if you have somebody that's there on site going, okay, yeah, I see what's happening here. Here's how you get around it. And it may be something that just that particular person either is a skill that they haven't learned yet or picked up. Good skills make good habits. So keep brushing up on those skills and making good habits of them, and it'll get easier.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it can't all be bad, but I'm sure there are some firearms that guy could pick up and be just fine with too, straight out of the box and never have an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad we had this conversation. So in the end, people are different, guns are different. What works for this guy might not work for you. What you hate, he might love. That kind of thing.
And it can be like you can watch like one YouTube reviewer's whole catalog and agree with everything that they say, and still have one thing in there that's like, yeah, he did it just fine, but I can't replicate this to save my soul, and I'm terrible at it. What gives? All the other advice has been great.
Yeah.
So don't, just because maybe one or two things don't go your way, don't just write it off. Keep trying.
Keep trying.
Keep trying.
Keep trying. Keep trying.